Hey everyone, welcome to another session of SheetAgent. Today we're gonna tackle alignments, and specifically we're gonna talk about multi-viewport. First thing first, let's start just our timer so we can keep up of or show track of time. So first thing first, as usual, we go to the ribbon, set line, double click, our palette will come up. So we're gonna be in multi-viewport today. Before we start setting up the program or this mini subset project, etc., let's talk about one important step that will make this program work like magic. And this is standard civil engineering or standard civil 3D practices, which is we're gonna go into data shortcuts. When you do or when you work in alignments or any C3D element, generally we use data shortcut. This is the way that Civil 3D function communicate between one drawing to another, where your design is in one drawing. You create that data shortcut, you can bring it into the label file, you can label it, and now we're gonna bring it into our layout file, or where we're gonna cut the sheets. Why we're doing this manually and not automatic? Simple reason. A lot of time we have more than one alignment. Sometimes we don't want to use all the alignments, so we want to be specific. So it takes a minute to make sure that we using the alignments that are intended to be used and not pick something by mistake or put the program into, I don't want to call it the goose hunt, but it's going to find everything you have, and that might become really hectic, especially if you have a large project with, let's say, 10 or 15 alignments you'll have to pick from them. Instead, you just reference those specific alignment that you want to work on. And then this way, everything's become more efficient and faster. How do we do this? Basically, once you create your data shortcut and you assign your documents or your working folder, you're just gonna come here into the alignments, center alignment, for example. You're gonna right click and we're gonna do create reference. You don't need to promote at all we're doing is a reference of this alignment, and then it's gonna just ask me here what's the names, etc., and I'm just simply press yes, and you can see it, and I'm gonna bring both, in this case create reference. So what I'm gonna do next is my personal approach. You can do it either way. I always prefer to make sure that I know the layer that these are brought in. For this one, they are on both on C road. The reason why is I like to lock this so we don't delete them by any chance and then cause some headaches. Second thing I really like is I like to change the display. I like them to be basically no display. So once you go into property of each, you can change the object style. I prefer them no display. That's personal. Just because I don't want to see them in the background. I just want to know where they are, but I don't want to see them. So I'll do it for both. In this case, no display, no display. And then what I'll do is, before I forget, I come in to C road. Let's find it. C dash right road, and I'm gonna lock it. This way, if I select, I delete, everything is done. So that's the only additional step that you need to do when you need to use alignment. This is true for both, for single viewport and for multi-viewports. Once you put those alignments, you are good to go. Next, we go to SheetAgent now, and let's bring our palette and let's build something. This file I named it plan, so I guess let's build plan, and let's see how it goes. Import title block as usual. We're gonna go and we're gonna import our title block quickly here. You're gonna see very similar or similarity between single viewport and multi-viewport. In this case, just underscore template is here. We're gonna come in and we can now simply page setup, and we are good to go. Next step, similar to single viewport, is just set viewport size, and we're gonna draw it. We're gonna use the exact same as before, which will showcase how you can edit it, change it. For this one, I'm gonna add everything now, because we've done it before where we showcased how we add them later. So we're gonna add the north arrow, graphic scale bar. Oops, we didn't scale it. And again, everything here you can move like we show on a single viewport. So next is we have to configure those. So we're gonna configure the name, we're gonna configure the north arrow, and we're gonna configure the scale bar. Why it did it broke in two, where usually we have one, is simply because we are in multi-viewport, so it assumes a minimum of two. You can see VP count not set, which we're gonna set it up next. So now we have north arrow, scale bar, attributes are all ready and set to go. We're gonna go to model space. So we're in model space. What next? Let's set the viewport count. If you don't set it up, it's gonna automatically default to 2 because multi, the minimum is 2. So we're gonna just set it up to 2. This is the most common, unless you wanna really have thin, let's say you have a trail and you wanna have 4 viewports instead of 2 viewports on each plan. 2 is 90% of the uses will be that. Next, let's go, since we're doing plan, we simply press on plan. It's gonna ask us either path or alignment. Why there is no other ones? Because simply this is very focused on alignment and path. Path is simply a 2D where you don't need an alignment. This one you can start from original, or like before you have alignment, you can create the same, like you can trace somewhere and then you break it into 2. We're just gonna focus on alignment. Path are really just exhibits or initial design. So alignment, you can see on the command prompt here, it's gonna give you 2 names. First street, 511 feet. Second street, 909. These are the 2 alignment that we've referenced into this file. So let's start with the first alignment, which is number 1. So number 1 means first street. 2 is second street. If you reference second street first, that will be number 1, and vice versa. So just take a look, read which one you want, and simply select it. So we're gonna go with 1 now. Do we want to follow it? So basically, it's following. It means start from station 0 and ends in station, in this case, I don't know, 500 or 5 plus. Reverse is it start from reverse. We're gonna do follow for now. Do we want to do the full station range or a custom? Why this is here even? If you have, let's say, 4 or 5 miles of road, as much as I love CAD, it will not handle it. CAD will get super slow if you're creating, I don't know, let's say 10 scale plan over few miles of road. It's mean you're gonna get like I don't know, like 30, 40 sheets. So CAD itself as a Civil 3D will become so slow, and then it's gonna be a nightmare. So the station range will allow you to do maybe like every mile you will do a set. So mile 0 to mile 1, mile 2 to mile 3, etc. So this way you can break those layouts into a smaller, more manageable sheets. So for now, it's very small, 500 feet. It's tiny. So we're going to do a full range. It's going to ask us for the name. So I'm going to call them PMP. It's going to ask for the number. Let's do C4 for the number .01. And it's going to ask me for the scale. I'm going to go 20 scale. Do you like an overlap? Sure. And do we want them stacked or side by side? The difference is very obvious. One is on top of each other. The other one is side by side. They're next to each other. When do you use one or the other? For example, if you have a really wide plaza and you wanna or a road and you really want to have them very detailed, this is where you do side by side. So you see the width. Stacked is more focused on the length versus the width, and you go from there. So we're going to go stacked, and it's going to ask us the gap. Again, you're customizing the program here. How much you want between the top viewport and the bottom viewport. 1.5 is a very generous pre-designed function, so you know that all the labels will fit. If you really need more space, you can decrease it or increase it. It's up to you. It's going to ask you also from the bottom, do you want any bottom margin? Again, bottom margin 0 in my case for the viewport max, which I have room on the bottom, then I don't need it. But if you select the entire page and you want to additional room for your labels, you can add. So I'm gonna go pick 0, but you can pick any number. It's gonna ask you what's the minimum coverage, how much you want the program to focus on from a coverage perspective. And this is basically if you draw an imaginary line from the center of this alignment and offset it, how much you want to cover on each side. 92.5 means that's your maximum here, but how much you can cover is 40 feet on each side, 50 feet on each side, etc. You just get the right-of-way width in this case. I'm just going to go with the default just to show you what it will do. So what it did in this case is just drew our tile, which by now you're very used to it. And then it located our north arrow. It just showed us where it is. Why it didn't fit it fully here is just it has a coverage. Just want to make sure that there is few feet before, few feet after, just so you have the full vision. And as always, you can edit those as you feel like. Build sheet, it's going to simply build it for us. We're going to create an overview here, and we're just going to go from there. So simply this one is going to build us one sheet, nothing fancy, right? So we have our overview page created, and we have top and bottom. Each one has a north arrow. It's negative twist because this one is twisted, so your north arrow is here. You have your match line, and it's good. So it's very simple, right? We didn't do anything yet that's like wow, at least. But we have our match lines, we have our north arrow. We can add labels now if we like, and it's very simple. We can even change when you go here. You can now add the station lines instead of the area and the naming. So let's do one by one, and we go from there. So we go to template. If you have, which unfortunately I don't have any block for the label, so I'm going to use the just my default. So plan VP label, that would allow you to add the viewport, or will allow you to use to label your viewports. It's going to ask label view automatic or select. In this case, we're going to do automatic. Do you want to include the station range? So basically it's going to give you from station A to station B based on where is your match line is or are. And then I'm going to ask yes. It's going to ask us, do we want them to have the station format stacked or inline? That's mean you want to do station A to station B or station A, then station B underneath it. We're going to just have them. Let's have it stacked for now, and then it's asking run update sheets to apply, and then you're simply gonna do update sheets, and it's gonna add. So now we have a view A, station to station. It shows the scale now. It auto labeled it for us. One thing, if we don't want to have view A, view B, and if we'd like to change that, can we? Absolutely. And it's all, you come into the add-ons and it's a view label. You can have a letter, you can have a number. Let's switch it to a number, and then we'll make this set bigger in a second. So do we want it repeated or incremental? Repeated, that's mean view 1, view 2, then second page will be view 1, view 2, or you want it incremental, view 1, view 2, view 3, view 4, etc. Let's do incremental to test this out. So you can see it, it's going to automatically update as far as the view name, view number, view label as well as the match line label. They're all connected. If you like to renumber the sheets to include also the station line, that's also something that you can do. It's simply we're going to come to edit sheet names, and it's going to ask us if we want to use the station range. Simply press yes. It's going to ask you for the target. So since we have a big field, you'll have to just scroll through it. I'm going to use the sector in this case, which is number 13, and I'm just going to simply tell it, hey, use it 13. Do you want to insert or replace? So insert means it's going to keep the area or section and it's going to add a sector. In this case, I'm going to simply replace it. Do you want to do it for all? Well, we have only one page. And then simply just simply press enter here until you cycle through all of your fields. And this is where you can edit all these fields if we haven't covered it yet. And then yes, that's it. So basically it just added the station range here. What I'm used to here, or at least from our experience, typically the station range is somewhere where we put it like horizontal more for these type of project, but for now just an example so you can see how you can modify or edit those. Now we added one alignment. Can we add another alignment? Absolutely. But before we do that, can we change these viewports? Yes. Can we pull it and make it smaller here? Yes. If I don't want it to be this wide, let's do it smaller. I don't want this one here. Let's make it smaller. I'd say you're not happy with this rotation. Just make sure you right-click select all, because we have a double, one for the overview and one for the main data blog. So you can see it switched it a little bit. Now simply press update sheets, and it's going to ask you to preserve the layers. Assume we cleaned it up and we don't want to use. We're going to say yes. And then it's simply just trim those for you. It kept your match line. It changed your station line slightly just so it's correct between. And this is just very simple, right? We can add the legends. Absolutely. Everything from here on, it's very simple to single viewport, same functionality, same approach. Can we add more to this? Yes. What you will see here is once you start with plan, you cannot simply switch to plan profile. It has to be two separate drawings. But as far as you're doing plan, you can continue and you can add to it as much as you want. You can see things turn off here, or they got grayed out so you don't open it up. The program is very big at this stage and it will get so much confusion if you switch from plan and plan profile. So it's once you pick one, you're with this until you open up another drawing just for the other functions specifically. Okay, now we built our first alignment. Can we add another alignment? Yes. How to do that? Simply come to this button, add path alignment. Pressing on it will show us what it found. So remember, we built alignment 1. Unless we have gaps in the alignment, then that one will be removed. So now it's show you only that you have 2nd Street. But so we press simply 1. It's going to ask us same, follow or reverse. We're going to follow. Full range, it's small, so we're going to go with full. Continue numbering. I personally prefer to skip numbering, so I change, so each alignment has its own, but you can always say continue as we did in single. For this one, or this example, I'm going to show a different numbering, just so you can see the flexibility that you have. So C4 dot, this one I'm going to use 21 instead. So you can see it created view 3, view 4, and view 5. Pressing update will just generate them basically. And you can see this is the view 1, view 2. It continued counting since we asked it to be view 3, view 4, view 5. It added our match lines here and view 5, which says view 4. It also updated our cover. If you recall, the cover page was small. There is some layering to clean up for sure. Like if we don't want the match lines here to show, I simply freeze those, just some cleanup. But otherwise, it's almost ready to go. Can we add key maps? Yes. Can we add legends? Absolutely. All of this done. But before we go down that, I want to show you what's pretty powerful about this that will help you in rebuilding. So design change. And I think we all know that. We all wish that design doesn't change. So we're going to go to the main drawing that has our design alignment in, and you can see it. I moved it just so we show it to you. We don't need SheetAgent at all. This is simply modifying the alignment. So we're gonna hold the alignment and we're gonna shift. Oh no, I don't know how to move alignments anymore. Okay, so we're gonna move the alignment where it's supposed to be. It builds, so simply we're gonna do save it. You're gonna come in, it's gonna detect the change, and we're gonna simply press synchronize. Pretty sure this is civil engineering, right? This is what we do it all the time. We change stuff. So you can see the background change. There's a critical here. What's the critical for is, pretty sure everyone can guess, it's the alignment have changed. So what to do is basically run update alignment tiles, which is update tiles here. It's gonna ask generate preview. We're gonna say yes. It's gonna, if you're on model space, you can see the model space. So let's just escape and go to model space instead. But update tiles, basically it's gonna generate preview, please. And then it's gonna tell you, hey, this is your new coverage. Every time you change or every time you are reviewing something, it's gonna showcase it to you. It's gonna build the full tile. It's not gonna trim it, but we can trim it always after the build. And it's gonna ask you to preserve the layers. Basically, it saves your layers. Unfortunately, you just have to change your viewport size again. But simply press yes. It's gonna update it. Again, we're 1, 2. If you wanna come back here and just make this one smaller again or change the rotation, we can simply do that and simply press update sheets, preserve it. Yes, it's gonna always ask you about layers, especially in the plan profile. And yeah, here you go, you have it. So we changed, you can change each, you can change them both. Regardless what you change, that's basically it for plan and plan. They're very useful when you have, or when you're using utilities, for example, and you don't want really to showcase way beyond the roads, and you don't want to create like 100 sheets where each sheet needs one. So this will reduce the number of sheets and will give you a nice continuation for your project. Just to wrap it up, let's showcase how we can add legend and key map just so you can see it here. Pretty sure you're familiar with it by now after single, but we'll do it quickly and showcase it up. We simply come to underscore template and we're gonna set the key map area. You're just gonna draw it. And we're gonna take our drawing again, and it's simply gonna add them. How it's gonna showcase, since we have 2 viewports, it's basically gonna hash them both. So basically we have view A or view 1, view 2 here. See them hatched. The second ones are here, and the third one is gonna be on 22. What about legend? Can we add legend? Yes, exactly same. Support VP. Set support VP. It's gonna ask us about the name. We're gonna say legend. We're gonna draw it, and let's put it here. Exact same as we've done for a single viewport. We're just gonna preview it. Just gonna locate it here. It's 20 scale, sure. And it's gonna ask us for the center. Then we move it around. Again, any tile, you can move it whatever you want. Then it's gonna just follow you when you update. So you're never locked in, basically. Yeah, just build them. I just added the legends on each. It added the key map. It added your legend on each one. It has your labels now. It's fairly quickly, under 25 minutes. Now you have 2 alignments, plan, with the viewport labels, sheet names, sheet numbers, etc. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. And again, everything is customizable, and then we can go from there. Have fun with it, and see you in next session.